Hello, video nerds. Welcome to the podcast. Today we're talking about niches and whether or not they're evil, how you find one, and how I made my channel a whole mess because I didn't pick one and how that is going. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see this beautiful mug that my husband got me for Christmas. It's keeping my tea warm because whenever I film a podcast, it always gets cold because I don't want to interrupt myself to drink. But then I kind of sometimes have to because I'm coughing all the time, and yeah, I hope this will help. It is probably just going to make my tea too hot, and then I will also end up not drinking anything, but let's at least try. The same motto goes for YouTube, by the way. Ooh, smooth transition. This was a good one, right? Damn it. No. Do not tell yourself that you did well. You are not supposed to do that. No. You are supposed to humble brag your way to success. Okay, or not brag at all, because you are always supposed to be like shitting on yourself, never show pride, as a creator. You always have to be like, oh no, I'm not really that good, I didn't make any progress, maybe a little bit of progress. Just remember, if you want your followers to like you, if you start bragging, they will stop liking you. It's not sexy. I mean that, actually. Like, as much as I think you should be proud of yourself, I also think you should just not focus on being proud of yourself. You should focus on your progress and be proud while you are making that progress, but you should not focus on your accomplishments all the time, because then you get complacent and lazy. Anyway, back on topic. So niches, they suck, right? We all agree here that niches just suck massively, because you can see that all the successful channels, and this is not a singular phenomenon, this is just a norm, all the successful channels have a niche. The only outliers are people that have such a vibrant and nice personality that people are just compelled to follow them and subscribe to their YouTube channel, whatever. But the chances that you are one of these people, they are very slim, so do not focus your energy on trying to be like them, trying to copy that, trying to create this vibe. You will not succeed in that unless you have a lot of experience under your belt and you are basically just super confident, happy with your personal development. So you gotta have a personality first, and then you will become this camera person that just strikes a nerve with people. I'm not there yet, so if you find me boring at times and you just keep watching my video because you say, I want to support this creator for some reason, by the way, thanks, then imagine how people think of you. They probably find you super, super boring and annoying, but if you have a likable personality, they will stick around and be like, okay, I'm going to speed up this video, or they're going to skip, or they're going to watch just the first 30 seconds, which is why you have a low retention rate. The reason for the low retention rate actually is not because so many people just find your video and it's not the right thumbnail and then they're disappointed. No, it's your subscribers see the video, they have high hopes, then they hear you talk for the first 30 seconds, it's boring, and they click off, if they even make it to the 30-second mark. But the fact that there are people out there who are just amazing and interesting, that makes it so hard to accept that a lot of us actually do need some sort of niche or topic or pillars of content. Otherwise, you just don't know where you're going with your channel. And the real problem is to figure out what that is soon enough, so you will not spend 2 years on growing your YouTube channel in the wrong direction. You gotta accept that you need some sort of category where you can be placed in. It is like with a good photo, all right? If you have a good photo, if you're a professional photographer or you have done photography for a few years, you should know that every photo needs a subject. If you are looking at a picture and by coincidence, I have 2 pictures here. This is my mouse pad because I have a cardboard mouse pad, and I stuck 2 pictures from a catalog on it because the surface was getting all icky and the little laser scanner would not work on it anymore. So yeah, that's why I put on some nice smooth surface from the catalog image. On the one image you can see a woman sitting on a windowsill, and on the other image you see a stairwell, and it's the top of a stairwell, I think, or a balcony or something, and there is a chair on it. So photographically speaking, one of the images is the better image when it comes to choice of subject. Because with this image of the woman, the subject is just crystal clear from the start. You can see the woman is in the center. She's looking outside in a pensive mood. It's a dreamy picture, and she's also displaying it's a catalog for clothes. So she is displaying her beautiful, expensive, high quality wool sweater and pants. And then in the other image, you just see a chair. And I think I cut this out from an image where there was also a person showing off clothes, but I don't remember. But if I just had this image, you would say, yeah, it has a subject. It is the chair from a weird angle, like from below. But then it's not in the center. And by center, I mean center of gravity of the photo, and not literally the center as in the middle of both axes. So in this image, the subject is not clear because you do not know what to look at first. And in a good photo, you should always know what to look at first. If you don't know, the photo is just not as interesting and not as compelling as another picture. You may disagree with that. You may drop some art school arguments on me, as in that this is your style and you want it that way. You know what, I went to art school for 10 years, so like after school lessons every week, multiple lessons. I have heard all this shit so many times, and if you know the craft, you know the craft. If you can paint, you can paint, and if you can take a photo, you can take a photo. But there would always be some 19-year-olds saying it's their style when they are really just bad at taking good photos. So yeah, absolutely screw that, that's bullshit. I'm not saying there is just one way to do it, but I'm saying that the seasoned photographer will be able to tell that you just don't know what you're doing. Back to video though. It is the same for the niche of your channel or the topic of your channel. If people cannot tell right away what your channel is about, and it does not have to be a singular topic, and it does not have to be like a popular category, as in like, oh, this is a skiing channel, it's all about skiing, or this is a hairstyle tutorial channel, all about hairstyles. No, it doesn't have to be that, but the general vibe must be clear, the topic and what your personality is. You cannot switch personalities from video to video, which is like what I did, not on purpose, but I try to be the nice girl next door in my videos, and that just did not work for me. I was just faking, basically being a political correct person that doesn't have a problem with anything, versus in real life I'm just ranting all the time. So I found out pretty fast that I actually like to vent in some of my videos and blow off some steam. But I also found out later that it's better to do that in a not super offensive way, in a not super mean way, you know? And I feel like the key to a video that is enjoyable is a certain level of being chill and fun. You cannot reproduce that though, you just have to learn it over time. It's not like you can sit down and be like, I'm gonna be chill in this video and it's going to be fun, and actually you are in a bad mood and it just doesn't work. So it has to come to you. There are so many things like that you just have to accept on your YouTube journey. And even I started YouTube in 2016, not this channel. I gave up my old channel when it was just growing because I had a baby, and then I had to start from scratch from 0 subscribers, which sucked. But anyway, even I find myself in these situations where I think, oh, this is so inauthentic of me. This is so not me. This is not my channel. I didn't want to say it that way. And now it's weird. But should I publish this video? I don't know. And nowadays, more often than not, I decide against publishing videos that I am not happy with. And that takes a lot of strength. I know how hard this is, but trust me, the more you can get yourself to saying, okay, I am going to film this video for a third time, you are making improvements there. You are being better than yesterday. So don't feel defeated if that happens to you. It's a sign of improvement. But now, what do you do to get to that topic that you want your channel to be about? Because when I remember starting my YouTube channel, I was like, I am interested in 10 different things. And you need to narrow it down to like 3. And it needs to be 3 things that are a match. And I'm doing this wrong right now just because I'm an idealist and I do not care that much about my income from YouTube that I think I should narrow myself down. But that is a bold move and it might not even be applicable to you. So just please be honest. You know, if you have a niche already and you like that niche and you think you can stick with that for 10 years, then don't broaden the scope of your channel because it will not do much for you. It will do the opposite. If you can be happy with the niche, do a niche. If you think, no, I'm a personality channel, I am an interesting person, and you don't say that out loud, remember, you don't brag. You don't say that out loud if you find yourself interesting. You say that in something like this in the back of my room, like a closet, okay? And you keep it in that. Like Madita of Astrid Lindgren, you know, Astrid Lindgren, she wrote these children's books, and I think that in the Madita book, the kids were allowed to say bad words in the closet. They would open the closet door and say it to their clothes, and then it would be fine. So no bragging on YouTube. Bad words are in fact okay, but they will affect your income. Anyway, following the theme of this podcast, which is showing you my journey from a mini, teeny, tiny baby creator to hopefully someday cracking 10K or 100K followers. That would be really cool. I want to show you what my process of half-ass niching down was like. I started out as an eco-friendly minimalism YouTube channel. So I wanted my content to be about zero waste because I vastly live a zero waste lifestyle, or I try to. Okay, this tea bag might say something different, but we have good recycling opportunities here in Germany. So, but for a very long time, I was researching a lot of these zero waste topics, and then I kind of just missed the hype, and the hype is over now, so it's pointless anyway. But I missed the hype where all of these mommy bloggers would release books on zero waste and how to use baking powder at home, which is all like super old knowledge that you can not find using Google, or you could not find using Google back then, which was so weird. So I had one of the biggest blogs about this topic in Germany, and I thought, oh, maybe it's a good idea to talk about it on YouTube, because YouTube is the new thing now. I did not have YouTube myself as an app before I started a YouTube channel. I barely ever used it. Sometimes I listened to music, but mostly I thought of YouTube as something childish, like I see TikTok now. And back then I was absolutely not interested in watching other YouTube channels. They seemed like a waste of time to me, and I had to work, so no. But when I started a YouTube channel, I started to find a lot of inspiration, and I found so many topics that I was interested in. So I saw the zero waste and low waste YouTube channels and the minimalism channels, and I thought, oh, I could do that too. And I started filming my own takes on certain topics, as in how to declutter things, or how to maintain a minimalist lifestyle, how to fight your shopping urges and whatnot. But right from the start, it seemed to me like a very shallow topic that I could not go on talking about for years. It already felt like after half a year, I had said everything that I wanted to say, and it became redundant. And then I saw all these other minimalism channels just not caring and just being redundant, and it worked for them. So I thought, okay, whatever. But I found myself really just disliking these kinds of videos because they were like bullet point talking videos, like boring school talks. And not boring because, I made it boring because I was an unexperienced YouTuber, and my talking voice was not the most interesting. I was not talking fast enough. But overall, at the time, most videos were like that. So it didn't really matter that much. It mattered to me, but it really didn't matter that much overall, because quality back in 2016 on YouTube, well, it was a lot of vlogging and a lot of talking. Anyway, sooner or later, I found myself in the position that I really just didn't want to talk about just minimalism. And even in this minimalism space, it was hard to get viewers to find your videos because most people were into extreme minimalism. So you had to put that in every title. And that is how niches work and how they crush your creative soul, in my opinion. Because let's say you now do a video that is on editing. People will prefer a certain type of editing, like cinematic or how to film B-roll. And I see that in the advice channels that I actually follow, which are niche channels. People make these B-roll videos over and over and over because there are so many new video creators that just start out and don't know how to film proper B-roll and they're totally overwhelmed. But that then leads to this YouTuber having to make the same videos like 100 times. I find that boring. I don't want to make videos like that. And I also don't think it's helpful because honestly, how do you learn how to film B-roll? You go out, you film B-roll, you try to cut it, you find out, oh, you didn't film enough, oh, it was badly lit, okay, I'm gonna do this differently next time. If you don't have that kind of scientist trial and error mindset, filming video is not for you anyway. You need to be able to learn from your mistakes. If you do not have that fundamental talent or skill, then just go out there and do something executive where you don't have to think. Anyway, back to my niche story, right? So I started with this minimalism and zero waste content, and it was already a conflict, just those two, because for some reason the minimalist people were more into buying unsustainable shit like Apple computers and having fancy and glossy and design interior, versus the zero waste and sustainable living crowd was more into simple living, using things until they break, and they were not into all this fancy design shit. So those two groups were already an option clash in some way. And then I started taking on other topics like hiking, because I like hiking. And nobody would watch these videos. People would only watch the minimalism videos, and the zero waste I gave up on that really fast because it was very specific, it required a lot of filming, and it was just exhausting to make. And then I also don't like how many YouTubers actually blurb out statements about like, this is the best way to do this, zero waste, this is the most minimal way to do this and that. And I just didn't want to dish out these absolute statements because I like more relative and moderate statements better. So it was already not a fit for me. Then I also looked into meditation and mindfulness and this, implementing this kind of practice into your everyday life. But again, this is a topic you can completely finish in one talk. You can give a 2-hour talk. I have seen 2-hour talks in like university settings about this kind of stuff. You don't need a whole lecture on it. Mindfulness practice takes exactly what the word says, practice. You don't need to hear people talk about it. You need to do it. You need to understand what it is, and then you need to go out and do it. Maybe sometimes you need a reminder, but in general, the people listening to these kind of meditation advice videos, they're just procrastinating and they want to hear creators say what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. They want to hear, you're doing fine, you will get there, instead of get off of YouTube and start doing the shit. And so I didn't want to contribute to that, and I also was not into the topic so much that I wanted to make my whole channel about it. Another thing that interested me then was also parenting and the whole zero waste aspect to having a baby, like cloth diapers and everything. But I just knew that I could not take this on as another niche because it would not be interesting to my viewers at all. First of all, I had not nurtured the zero waste niche enough with content, so it would come totally out of the blue. And then it was also a temporary topic. Parenting in general is a temporary topic. If you have a 5-year-old and you're talking about struggles with your 5-year-old, you will reach other parents of 5-year-olds. You will not reach parents of 10-year-olds or of babies. It is very temporary, both in your life and on your channel. And also, I don't feel comfortable involving my kid all too much. She wants to be in some of the videos, like the hiking videos, so I'm not going to censor that or cut her out because I believe she has a right to be there and to be in public because she is a competitive athlete anyway. So she's a public figure just like I am. But yeah, I still think that at least being aware of privacy issues with children is very important. So I'm not trying to make too much content about my kid or like a general content where kids are the subjects. That is just something that's not for me. So that was out of the equation as well. And it was the case with so many niches. Trust me, you have no idea how many ideas I had for all these videos. When I researched videos on certain topics I was interested in, I would always think, man, I could do this better. Man, I could add to this conversation. I have so much to say about this. And then I had to back off and say, no, this is not it, because it doesn't fit my 3 categories, which by today can be summed up as simple and free living. I think that is the topic of my channel. Having a simple, happy life, but also maximizing your freedom, your experience, that kind of thing. And under that umbrella, I have Still the minimalism content, but the way I do it, not the nice girl next door fake shit. And I have hiking videos, nature, outdoors, enjoying that kind of freedom. And then I have the idea of freedom and simplicity as well in my Linux and open source content. So these three, they seem very unrelated for somebody who might come to my channel. But you know what? I can live with that because for me, they all click. They all just belong together. I like minimalism because clutter overwhelms me and I cannot concentrate and work efficiently with clutter in my space. I also like Linux for the exact same reason. No bloatware, no clutter. And nature gives me back my calm. When I go outside, I go hiking, I come back to the most important thoughts. I am humbled and I feel small, which is very important to feel small every once in a while compared to this giant, beautiful planet and to just know your place as a human, to like not destroy it and shit. But could I justify these niches that I have discovered in hindsight of the YouTube algorithms? Probably not. YouTube would prefer channels that are either just about Linux, just about hiking, or just about minimalism, not the three of them. And you got to know that if you want to be successful on YouTube. Don't do what I do. I do this because I want to and because I can, and I don't depend on YouTube. But if you are planning to depend on YouTube within 2 years and you want to make it a business, you need to pick one. You need to pick a niche that reaches enough people so that you can find like 1 million people, right? 1 million people, or 1 billion if you're American. 1 billion people is like a reasonable goal. And you also have to think about this in the context of your country. As in, if your country is like mine, is Germany, is not super big. I had a German channel and I thought, okay, Germany has 84 billion inhabitants. So am I going to be able to reach 1/80th of them? I don't think so. 1 in 8 people, that is huge. I'm not going to be able to reach all these people with my content just because the subset I am talking about is not relevant to all these people. There are channels in my country that are that big, but they are broader channels. They have subjects that appeal to many people, like pranks or doing good or animals, or it's also like workout content, something that is relevant to everybody. But then your competition is also so huge. It's like if you choose a topic like Linux or minimalism, you do not have to compete with all these other creators because not everyone is a minimalist, not everyone can talk about it. But with the fitness influencers, for instance, there are so many booty cheek spreading girlies out there who are just talking about fitness, not knowing shit, but their followers also don't know shit, and that's what you're up against. And if you're not pretty enough, it's going to be very hard. So yeah, not for me, definitely. I'm with the nerd herd. So with regard to the size of my country, I chose English as a language for my YouTube channel. And it has kicked my ass a few times because, you know, English is a difficult language, contrary to common belief, because it has a lot of adjectives that most Germans just don't know. But we all think we know English so well. And then people also make fun of our accent, like you speak a German accent, it sounds weird, and they crack some Nazi joke or whatever. So yeah, that kind of thing will happen if you are not a native English speaker. But in my opinion, choosing the English language for your YouTube channel is just making it more universal and opening your content to the world. So if you want to find 1 billion people who would listen to your content, and I'm talking about these 1 billion people as in potential viewers, not all of your subscribers that you will eventually have, it is just a subset of humans that you have to think about. Like, this is the minimum of people you want to reach. You want to reach 1 million people. Million, billion, you know what I mean. 10 to the power of 6. And if you speak a language of a country that only has 10 billion inhabitants, like Sweden, and you make Swedish content, well, probably only Swedish and also Norwegian people will watch your content. But the rest of the world will just not understand you. So that is a really important aspect if you choose your niche. Let's say you have a Swedish news channel. You might appeal to a lot of Swedes. Or if you have a channel about German travel destinations, You might appeal to a lot of Germans who will just want to save money, travel Germany using like a cheap ticket or something, and want to find destinations near them. You might appeal to a lot of these people in your country. But if you have a smaller topic, just like eco-conscious living, that is also not tailored to this country and its people, then it's going to be hard to find just a big enough audience, and that will also limit the success of your channel. So I saw that early on, and that is why I decided against all odds and being actually really afraid of this to start my channel in English. While I also think it's very important to preserve language, and I love to see channels that are thriving and that are in my language, I totally understand everybody who says, no, I can't do this. It's just not enough. Anyway, from the standpoint of which niche you should pick, this language choice is liberating again, because it helps you to decide, I can do this. I can pick more than one or pick that one. Because if you have a broader audience already and more people will find you because everyone is Googling shit in English, then you can more easily dare to actually talk about the topics you want to talk about. Assuming that your English level is at the point where it allows you to do that. So now, last but not least, how do you find your niche or niches? I recommend just drawing a mind map. Yes, a stupid mind map like in school. You draw your mind map, in the center there is you, or your general interest, or the major thing in your life that you know most about. To me, that is simple, optimized living in a way that I am efficient, managing my time, and so on. And here you see already, like, you have so many points, like, okay, so time management, and then you have simple living, like nature, maybe a vlog channel. You could do so much. And you got to find the ones that your heart just beats for. Because in order to keep going, you need to pick the ones you like most. You will not be able to keep going if you just slightly dislike a topic. For me, for instance, the Linux videos that I do, I just really like Linux. And I'm also bothered and annoyed with what some people have to say about it. So this will give me content forever. I have to deal with Linux problems on a daily, so I will never run out of content. The same goes for minimalism and eco-friendly living. I have to deal with zero waste issues on a daily basis. I take this to-go mug everywhere. I'm holding up my cute little cup here. This is stuff I deal with on a daily basis. I will always be able to talk about it. The same also goes for social commentary. I'm at an age, I'm almost 40, so I have a lot of opinions on things, and I can provide different perspectives from different stages of my life, and I have experience with many things just because I'm older and I have done a lot of stuff. So you need to pick the overlap of what comes natural and easy to you with the stuff that is relevant. For me, it's very easy to make a hiking video, but I first need to find time to do the hike. So I could not do a full-time hiking channel because I would need to go on a different hike every weekend, and I just cannot leave my family alone that much. I also don't only want to do minimalism content because that is exhausting and it feels talky and lectury, and I don't like that. The Linux content is the same. Some Linux content is really easy to make, and other takes a lot of preparation. I also write a blog article about all the things that I do, for instance, setting up a new system or troubleshooting something, or I have one about basic terminal applications for beginners. And that is all stuff I can do in a video, but it takes time to write a script, which, for instance, a vlog never does. For a vlog, on the other hand, you need to have an interesting setting, you need talking parts where you talk about your life or your experience, and those need to be interesting. You cannot just go on about who you are. Nobody cares, nobody knows you, so they don't care what you are and what you do. So you gotta make it interesting, like bring in a little life lesson or something. And that is, in the end, why I picked these 3 niches for myself, because I can then always pick the one topic that I like each week, and I don't have to be like, oh yeah, I have to do another Linux video again, but now I just don't feel inspired, so I don't know what to talk about this week. Oh, I don't know. Well, then I just do a minimalism video and I'm good. Because from all this different content that I made, I have learned so much that I can even talk about just making content. And if you have watched the other episodes, you know that I, in general, just do not like channels that are just social media advice. because I feel like they often come from failure in a real niche. They could not make it there. They could not talk about how to be successful in a channel niche. And they only ever became successful when they started making advice and basically faking it until they made it, which I just do not respect. I respect creators that give advice coming from them actually being a little bit successful. It doesn't matter if they have like 10k or 100k subscribers, because that sometimes can happen very fast and overwhelmingly, and it's a mix of luck, personality, and good quality. Do I think I can get there? I don't know. As I said, the topic of this podcast is to take you along on my journey and show you how I'm trying. And I'm making mistakes. I am 100% sure that even like not picking a single niche is a huge mistake with regard to the algorithms. But, you know, life without mistakes is just boring. That's it. Hello, video. What the fuck? Every fucking video. I love this chair. It's such an amazing chair. Not. How to find your perfect niche and all that shit. Oh no, I'm not supposed to say shit in the first few seconds. Okay. Is my tea done now? Let's see. Oh, that's super hot. That's actually... No, it's perfect temperature. It's probably going to take 2 minutes, but I cannot shut down the camera, because if I do that, then the fucking Zoom will reset. And just, I wish that Sony, you motherfuckers, I wish you made cameras where the zoom just stays the same. Like, if I could have a button to fix the zoom in place and be like, lens don't move, as in like with a physical lens. I would love that. Why does that not exist? And if they have it, then their motor is loud. It's either a loud motor or no fixable zoom. Oh god, I'm hearing this I use in my head now. Thank you. Fuck this shit.